Alright, we're heading out of Beach Gap, and yep, looky, it's morning. It's cold as hell, and I think we're going up that big ass mountain over there today. Could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to go like maybe down into a nicer meadow, but I don't see that happening. So, actually had a good night's sleep, even though it was cold. That sleeping bag is great. I highly recommend Zenbivy. Took a little while to get used to it, but it's good. But what was I gonna say? Totally lost my train of thought. I think we're gonna try and do about 15 miles today. Did a little over 12 yesterday, but I got a late start, so I got a little bit more time now, and a little bit less weight because I had a nice big dinner, and we're gonna see if we can get as far as possible today, because tomorrow I think is Monday, and if I can get close to Franklin, I think there's like a little intersection where the trail crosses a major road, and that major road leads right into Franklin. So if I can get in, get some resupply, maybe have a nice warm meal. Cold soaking is great. It's so convenient, but oh my gosh, after a while, especially when you have like cold days like this, like yesterday and today, cold soaking is just, I don't know. There's a part of you that just needs warm food sometimes. So, but I want to get in, do all that stuff, and get back on the trail. I don't plan on, nor do I want to, actually spend any nights there. So that's our goal for today and our extended goal for tomorrow. So we'll see how things go. And as the beauty unfolds, I will do my best to show you throughout the day. Hope you all are having a good weekend and staying warmer than I am, because holy shit, that is chilly. Alright, so 2 pieces of news that I'm not sure if they're news or not. Remember, my memory issues kind of screw me over when it comes to things, short-term memory-wise. So I can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, but both of them are kind of important. So if I did mention them, then, well, good. Now we're just reinforcing that. But if I didn't, now you know. So, first of all, I know I'm in North Carolina now, and you didn't see any footage of me playing, hopscotch with a tree, apparently. But I'm playing basketball in Georgia. And there's a very good, bad, infuriating reason for that. I was running out of Georgia. When I stopped in Helen, there was no courts anywhere. And they said there might be one in Hiawassee. Someone else said, oh yeah, absolutely. So the next day, just as I was back at Unicoi Gap and could have gotten a shuttle to Hiawassee, someone said, oh yeah, there are courts there, you should go. So I started to pump up my basketball. And that's when I discovered that it was not taking air. So the basketball was basically ruined. I don't know if it was the temperature. Oh, goody, a tree to climb over. The temperature changes, having it uninflated and all that. But I also saw like a crack, like a little slash by one of the seams. And I strongly suspect it wasn't the temperature or anything like that. It was probably the feds when they opened the box that had my backpack in it. I think they probably nicked the basketball, thus rendering it useless, and basically ruining that half of my plan for this whole thing. So I'm still hiking, obviously. I'm still doing the whole thing. And the trail is definitely the number one priority. But I really wanted to play ball in every state. Now, technically I still can if I consider the states that I've played ball in before. Now, back in high school, my senior year, my best friend Stan and I drove to Georgia to visit my cousin on spring break. And one of the days there, we played basketball. So technically I have played ball in Georgia. Now, if I can find a court that already has somebody playing ball in North Carolina somewhere, then, hey, we can keep this streak going. Because I've never played in North Carolina before. I think it'd be amazing to play ball in the same state my all-time basketball idol basically got his notoriety. He's from New York, but basically raised and became famous in North Carolina. But anyways, so that's a big piece of pain in the ass news. But a cool piece of news is that I have a trail name now. And again, I might have mentioned this already. I can't remember. But if I haven't, it was after those first round of really bad storms, and I'm hiking and it's really drizzly and I'm just at my wit's end. And I plopped down on a log, tried to open a Pop-Tart, couldn't get it open. So I'm getting more and more frustrated. And eventually I'm like tearing this thing open with my mouth and just shoving it in my mouth. I'm so hungry and so irritated by everything. And just as I'm doing all this Scottish guy comes around the bend. He's going sobo, so he's almost done with his entire hike. And he sees me and starts to laugh. And I kind of looked at him quizzically and he says, "I've never seen a man look so feral eating a Pop-Tart." And we laughed. And I talked with him for a little while and he asked me my name. I said it was David. And he said, "Oh, no, it's not anymore. Now your name's Feral." So my trail name is Feral. And frankly, I love it. I've always been a bit of a feral boy. And, I always wondered how these names come about. And I think that's a pretty good story. So I couldn't resist accepting his nomenclature for me. So those are the two things that I've probably told you before. I will try to remember not to tell you again, but I cannot make any promises. I'm sorry. And this is one of those few sorries that I actually mean it, because I just don't know sometimes whether I said something or not. My poor wife, she probably hears me say the same things over and over. But we'll try to hope. We'll try to hope. We will try to hope that this is the last time. But on with the trail, and man, even holding this, going over these routes, it's still really quite nice. It's a very rough trail through North Carolina. They got hit hard with the hurricane last year. So anybody coming through here, try and, throw some business the way of those trail towns like Franklin, because they could really use it. They have entire economies built up around tourism and especially the Appalachian Trail. So it's important that we help them out. They're still struggling, and they did a lot to clear off these trails so that people could hike this year. But, it's still a work in progress, and the towns need our help. So talk to y'all later. wonder if we're going over that one next.
What's that?
So I wonder if we're going over that one next.
I think that's Pickens Nose, which is a kind of funny name.
Is that really the name?
That is really its name.
Oh my god.
I think you could see the trail, but I think I saw marked there's like a side trail that goes over there. So I think we're going up.
Ooh. Fucking hell. Sorry, need to focus. Came all the way up from down below. Wound up through these trees. Came up and had lunch, a late lunch, right here, where I could refill all my water bottles. That is a pipe coming right out of the mountain with ice cold water. It was such a nice sight. Didn't have to scoop out of a stream or build a tiny little flow with a leaf. This was just pumping. Put my dirty water bag right underneath it, and like literally 3 seconds, 3 bottles worth of water. So sat down on my big ass rock right here, had my food, chugged a ton of water, and now it's a race to see how far I can go before I have to pee for like an hour. But I'm feeling pretty good right now. It's a little after 2, and there's someone standing right behind me. So we'll see how far I can get. I think in less than 2 miles, it's the 100-mile marker. So that should be nice. Let's go. I really wish I could have been able to record the climb up here. I'm not even at the top yet, but this view, when the trees broke open, that's magnificent. But that climb, man, the universe is not made for really short guys with really big feet. So I had very few places to put my feet and really long steps for my tiny legs to reach. But it worked. And we're going to keep going up. Woohoo! This is really cool. There goes my trekking pole. That's okay. This is amazing. You can almost have a little house back there. And the way the rock slants, as long as the wind's not blowing into the mountain, you'd have a nice, safe little redoubt. Whew. There goes the other trekking pole. I gotta pick those up and then head that way. See you there. Maybe. If I can keep my finger off the camera. Hello, brother. I think the AT is trying to kill me. If you find my body somewhere along the trail, don't believe the suicide note. This fucker's a murderer. Oh man. We're almost there. I hope. When I said 2 miles to the 100-mile mark, I neglected to say, because I neglected to know, that it's 2 miles of absolute torture. So, we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. If I die. If I don't, then we'll just keep going. I hereby rename this mountain, Fuck This Mountain. You'll at least be able to see over the tree cover.
The other side up there.
Yeah, okay. I skipped the Indian Mountains here because I've seen it before and there were a whole bunch of Boy Scouts there. I just thought, they were so cute, but I've been walking with them for like an hour. Over it.
I heard him yelling from like a couple miles away. And I thought it was like someone yelling for help.
Is that who I was hearing? Boy Scouts?
Thing and, we were teaching them about some Indian story.
All right, people, look at that. 100 miles. And to the jackass who said I wouldn't even make it 20, you can kiss my ripplingly muscular ass right now, because there's 100. So, on to the next 2100. Now this is a comfortable walk. It's kind of a reward after the punishment of trying to get up that damn mountain. But it's still nice. I love the view up there. It was definitely worth all the excruciating pain. And this is also worth it. This is very comfy. It's rather warm, but not quite hot. As long as you keep moving, you kind of generate a little bit of a breeze. Not as much as I'd like, but it's still nice. I love the shadow play on the ground. The way all the photons are dancing at a funky angle as the sun starts to go down. People always say golden hour. To me, anything after like 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's a golden several hours. The sun just has a different vibe. All the light that pours off of it just feels more loving. It sounds dumb, but that's the only word I can think of. So, let's go on into the lovely sunset. I think we're shooting for a rock gap shelter, but depending on how long this comfy walk stays like this, I might go further to Wallace Gap. We'll see. I'm sure I will talk to you before it's all over. There's a really annoying guy behind me. He's probably about a mile behind now. But I've passed up a few really gorgeous small campsites because I know this dude, if he sees somebody's tent up, he's going to go and pitch his tent right next to them and then just talk and talk and talk. And it's just, I don't have the patience for this kind of person. I don't have patience for a lot of people. But I've met some really great people on here. This guy's just one of those that rubs me the wrong way. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice guy to somebody, but for me, it's just, I can't. So I'm just continuing to go. It's closing in on 6 o'clock, and I'm wondering if I'm going to make to the road that goes into Franklin before sundown. If I can do that, I might be able to hitch a ride into town and then just get some cheap motel for the night, pick up my supplies in the morning, grab some breakfast, and bounce back on the trail. That would be awesome. Be a quick turnaround, and I'd be tired as hell. But actually, I'm amazed that I'm not as tired as I expected to be. I think I've gone probably 15 miles already, and I think I could go probably another 5 easily. At this point, it's just racing the sun, and I'm really thinking Franklin tonight's the way to go. So if I change my mind, I won't be surprised. I hope you won't either. But if I don't change my mind and make it all the way, I don't think I'll be that surprised either. I think I'm finally getting back into the groove. I mean, I thought I was in the groove with the training, because I was doing quite a bit of training. But like I've said many times, it's not the same. So I think 10 days on trail, maybe, yeah, it's more than that, but 11 or 12. But I think I'm really starting to break off some of the rust. I don't think I'll ever be able to go the way I did when I was young, and I'm becoming more and more at peace with that. But I think I'm doing quite well, considering all the shit my body carries and has carried its entire existence, and just all the rust mentally from not really challenging myself for several years. I think I'm doing good. I'm proud of myself. So we'll see what the rest of the night brings, and I'll fill you in either way, somehow. Onward. Well, medical reasons have pretty much made my decision for me, even though I was getting tired and was going to stop at a little stealth campsite and stop one of the hills back there. When I stopped to pee, oh, sorry, there's probably too much information, but if you're already following my channel, you know I don't really censor myself. But anyway, when I stopped to pee, my pee was very rust colored. That did not look right. So I thought I've been keeping up with hydration pretty well, but I don't know. So I figured if I can get into Franklin tonight, like I thought was possible, but I didn't want to push it. Now I am going to push it because I want to see if I can at least, fix it with just some extra hydration and rest, or if I need to see a clinic or something, because I've never seen that color come out of me before. So I swear, just when I thought my body was starting to get into the groove, more shit happens. This is my life though, people. Welcome to a small taste of my world. Anytime anything goes right, a bunch of things go wrong. It's like the universe put a target on my back and just keeps shooting darts in my ass. But we'll see what happens. It's very possible that I'm just not as on top of my hydration as I thought I was, and with a little rest and drinking lots of fluids, maybe that's all I need. So we will find out. I will, of course, keep you in the loop, much to your chagrin, I'm sure. Well, folks, this may have been a bad idea. I mean, I don't know what else I could do, but here we go.